Cubs get the series win and salvage the West Coast trip. 3-3 in LA and San Diego is a completely fair and good outcome, really. Don't you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Going against the two best teams in the major at the time. That's
Uh,
500's really good.
Definitely the best teams in the West. I think Atlanta is probably the best team in the majors right now, the way
Right
they're
now,
playing.
yeah.
Um, but San Diego was playing very well going into their series, and the Dodgers have been playing excellent all season. They actually just lost two to the Marlins after that, though. Did you see that? I don't. The
I saw
Marlins.
that double play.
The Marlins have some talent on that team
They do.
for sure. So I don't think that they're the joke that some people want to believe that they are. You know what I mean?
Same with the Rockies. I think the Rockies have also improved quite a bit.
Yep. Yep. Welcome back to Clark and Addison, Born into the Ivy. He's Eli Butler, and I'm David Butler. We're here to bring you up to date on the off day for your Chicago Cubs. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. We are here to talk about the last series with our Cubbies. The Padres review. They took 2 out of 3. We just talked about that some. Um, the offense scored at least 5 runs in all 3 games. That was nice to see after they struggled some against LA, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
The third game, they won 5-4. They were up by more than that at one point. It's a good thing Matt Shaw hit that home run to get that insurance run.
Right.
But really, the save of that game was Ben Brown. Even though he didn't get the actual save, he came in
That
with
double
bases
play saved us
juiced.
all.
Yeah, I mean, he did a good job. He hung a ball to Tatis that ended up being the sac fly. Got
Yeah.
away with it. Tatis hasn't been playing great, so I mean, I doubt that he wanted to hang it, but if there was going to be a guy to do that against, it was a good guy to do that against.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Because of the way he's been playing. Ben Brown. What do you think about Ben Brown? I mean,
I love
I
him.
know that you've kind of come around with him,
I came
but
around. I'm on
there's
the
still a whole
Ben
lot of
Brown train
haters.
now. I'm on the
He has
Ben
a
Brown.
His ERA is 1.99 and his
He's the
WHIP
best
is
pitcher in the bullpen.
1.06. No, bar none.
Mm-hmm.
Bar none. And it has been. Outside of Daniel Palencia, there has not been another pitcher who's even come close to pitching as well as he has.
Right. If everybody's healthy, I'd still pick Ben Brown. I'm almost picking Ben Brown over Palencia. I don't know yet, but
Yeah.
I'm getting
I,
close to it.
I don't know that I want to say that. But I thought it was really cool that that was as high as leverage as he can be in.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what inning, any of that. You know what I mean?
Best inning of his career, probably.
Right. Disappointing that Martin had walked all 3 batters
Oh
that he
my
faced.
gosh. I was listening
'Cause
to it on the radio on the way to Cam's practice, and it was driving me nuts. He
I
cannot
was at
find a strike zone.
Paisley's game and following it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like I was going out of my mind. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. I was
Uh,
stressing out.
and my buddy Shane texted, he goes, just get him out of there. What the hell? So, because I was asking him, I knew he was watching the game. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Go Cubs go!
Now, did Javier? I got to practice before they pitched in the bottom of the ninth. Did Javier Assad end up going in, or did they keep Ben Brown in?
Ben Brown stayed in, and then Hobie Milner came in to get
Oh
the
yes,
last
for the
out.
last.
Yeah.
Because I knew they were warming up
Cubs,
Javier
go!
Assad.
Oh, I did not know that because I was just trying to follow on game day. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So the Padres. This is my last note that I have for the series. The Padres were throwing up and in a lot in the series, but specifically in yesterday's game. They end up finally hitting Nico in the head. I don't necessarily think that they were like trying to be dirty. But if you can't control that stuff, why are we throwing up and in so much like that?
Right.
It seemed awfully weird. You want to disrupt their timing because it was the worst offensive output for the Cubs in the series at 5, which is pretty impressive when that's the worst game offensively. But I get you want to mess up their timing, but that's a dangerous way to do that, man. I think it's something that could be held on to a little bit when they play in Wrigley later on this year. You know what I mean? Remembered, I guess,
Right.
by the Cubs players. So I'm not saying they're going to go do the same thing.
Because Suzuki also got hit that game. It wasn't high.
Right.
Right.
Crazy. Justin Steele. Let's touch on him real quick. Terrible news. Justin was expected, hopefully, was going to be back in late May, early June, and now at the earliest won't come back until after the All-Star break. Just devastating. It's devastating for the Cubs. It's devastating for us fans. But man, you got to feel for that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How devastating is that personally for him? That sucks. He sent out a tweet. If you are on Twitter or X, something to go look at. I'm not going to read the whole thing. That's his thing too. You know what I mean? But this guy bleeds being a Cub. Like, he loves being a Cub. He loves pitching for the city and the team and the fans. And it just really sucks, dude. You know what I mean? I also thought it was interesting, like the way I found out about it was through Sam Olber, who does a podcast called Locked on Cubs. I've talked about him before, and they have had Justin Steele on that podcast quite a few times. Sam Olber and Justin seem to have become friends, which is really cool. You know what I mean? And Sam was the one who kind of broke that news, and that I had seen, at least. And then I'd seen a couple other things. Tommy Hotovy, they're saying he has a flexor strain. Tommy Hotovy said that he's just not responding very well right now. I don't know where that kind of changed. I guess sometime over this past weekend. But it's weird that it didn't come out until yesterday, and it's weird the way it came out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Biggest thing though is it sucks. It sucks for him, and more than anything, it sucks for him. And I feel really bad for him, but it really sucks for the team too. Do you think between the Justin Steele news and Cade Horton getting hurt, does that change the goals that the team might have now, or is the goal should still be to win the division and everything?
I think that trying to sneak into the wild cards should be the expectation, but if the Reds keep playing like they're playing, then I don't know. Obviously, the Reds' schedule hasn't been as hard as ours. I went back and looked at their schedule, but I don't know. I don't know.
I understand the thought process of changing, like maybe the goal because the pitching staff isn't what it once was, and with all the bullpen issues and all the injuries and all of that. I get the thought process, but this offense is good enough to carry some of those issues. And I think guys like Ben Brown continue to step up. Palencia is possibly coming back. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Phil Maton is back. He got roughed up a little bit his first outing, so that's not what we were hoping for. But it's still early. I don't want to overreact to any of that with Maton because the dude has a good track record. So I think it's unfair to react too fast for him. Theobar, hopefully isn't going to be too much longer before he comes back. I think I don't want to overreact. Now, are guys like JMO and Colin Ray in that level? No. But that doesn't mean we can't go trade for somebody. I know that you don't pay a ton of attention to the minors and everything, but there are some really good guys down there who are making a name for themselves right now and are lighting it up. And I'm not trying to say we should go trade everybody, but guys like Pedro Ramirez, who's lighting it up, guys like James Triantos, who seems to be bouncing back from the year he had last year, and before that he was a top 100 prospect at one point. If those guys continue to play well, they become much better trade chips than they were last year. To add in with a guy like Kevin Alcantara. And I'm not saying we should go trade Kevin. That's not what I mean. But I think in the right possible trade, it would make sense to trade all of those guys for the right player. A guy like Sandy Alcantara shouldn't, even pitching as well as he has so far, I don't think should command like all three of those guys. I'm going to throw out a name. I'm not saying he's going to be available. I'm not saying the Cubs would go trade for him.
Jose Soriano.
No, I don't think that they're going to trade him because he's so young. But I like that guy. Yeah,
I like him a
lot. I was about to say Tarek Skubal, though. If the Tigers, because they're around 500, if they falter and they end up falling out, it would make sense for them to trade him if they haven't signed him to some extension. And for what it's worth, I don't see them signing him to some kind of extension. But is it worth trading a ton? Because it would take a ton to trade that guy. Only knowing you only have a couple of months and you're not guaranteed any more time after that. But that's a season-altering trade to get him. You know what I mean? I'm just throwing the name out there as thought. I don't even necessarily need anybody to react right now. I mean, I would love some comments if you all want to leave comments about that. Am I crazy on that? I mean, it's going to take more than those three guys I just talked about, too, to be frank. It's going to take a lot of guys. Even for just 2 months of Tarek Skubal. So, I don't know. Maybe for 2 months it's not. But I also think you get 2 extra months of being able to negotiate with this guy then. But it's going to cost a ton to sign him as an extension as well. Like something the Cubs had never even dreamed of doing. You know what I mean? Before. Right. And have not been known to do. So, there's that part of it too. But I think that there's a responsibility to say, screw it, we need to go on in on this. If the offense is doing what we think it's going to do and continue to do, and the rest of the pitching staff stays afloat and gets healthy and is good, Edward Cabrera is capable of helping frontline a staff, but he's not an ace. What I've seen so far and what I've seen before, he's not the ace that some people wanted him to be. At least not yet. Alcantara, I think, would have been. And I told you before, I'm going to go back on this and say that's who we should have tried to get. And I think we could have and should have for the same package that we got Cabrera for. You know what I mean? But it doesn't matter now. I just think that he is more capable of leading a staff than Cabrera is. It's a solid starting staff still. It's just not where we want it to be.
Right.
Boyd needs to bounce back. Hopefully he will. You know what I mean? But there's some struggles there, for real. I saw this stat. What do you think? Who has been the most reliable offensive player in the clutch for the Cubs this season so far?
Moises Ballesteros.
I mean, that's not a bad one. But I think a lot of people would say Nico.
Oh, yeah, Nico.
Listen to this. This is via Brett Taylor of Bleacher Nation. He said, I'm about to tell you something unbelievable but true. So far this season, Nico Hoerner has a slash line of 289, 341 on base, and 447 slugging, with the WRC plus of 118. And I'll remind you, the WRC plus, an average player, is 100. So he's 18 points above that, which is pretty good. Pete Crow Armstrong, with runners in scoring position, has a batting average of 333, on base of 421, and a slug of 455. Only 8 points higher than Nico, but it's worth noting. And he has a WRC plus of 148. This is with mid in scoring position. So that part matters. You know what I mean? Is it mind-blowing to hear that he has been more clutch than Nico?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because every time I see him, he strikes out.
I mean,
but
he
again,
does strike
I don't
out a
watch
lot.
full games. I don't watch full games usually. But every time I tune on the game and he's up to bat, it's ugly.
I have been a huge proponent saying I think people are overreacting about what Pete's been doing. I think his at-bats have been better than what people think. His approach has been better, all that.
I mean, he's still batting 241.
But I was still absolutely shocked by that.
Yeah.
You know what he hit last year? Batting average?
228 or something like that.
247.
Oh, was it?
His on-base percentage is actually higher for the season than it was last year. But his slug is about 100, 150 points below than what it was last year. You know what I mean? That's where he's kind of off. This is from Carson Wolf at the Wrigley Wire. PCA's 243, 311 on base, and a 90.9 mile per hour exit velocity and 47.3% hard hit rate this season are all above his career marks. Ground balls have killed his slugging early in 26. So he's hitting the ball hard. It's just on the ground way too much. That's the problem. But he's got a better on base percentage, which is huge. He's never going to be at close to 400 or like 40% on base, I don't think, because he's a little too much of a free swinger. That's going to drop. Like, he's not going to be as bad throughout the rest of his career, but he is always going to be a bit of a free swinger. There are comps, a lot of people saying he's like Javi. I think he's going to mature better as a hitter overall, but he's always going to have a little bit of that in him. And that's part of his genius, because he can hit balls that a lot of players can't when he's on. The problem is, when he's not on, sometimes he's still trying to do that. His chase rate is down, but I think too many people don't stop and remember how old this kid is. And he's really only in his second full season. You know what I mean? He's doing much better than people think, I believe. And I think some of those stats show it. One more thing, Matt Shaw, again, via Carson Wolf at the Wrigley Wire. Over his last 285 plate appearances, so this is obviously dating back to last year, Matt Shaw has a 270 batting average, 324 on base percentage, and a 517 slug. That's an OPS of 841. He has a 132 WRC plus, 16 doubles, 14 home runs, 39 RBIs, and a 2.2 F/WAR.
I thought he was batting higher than 270.
This is dating back to last year, so over his last 285 plate appearances.
Okay.
He is currently hitting over 300.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he's hitting like 301 or something like that.
He's tearing it up, man.
I know.
Absolutely tearing it up.
And they can just find a way to get him in almost more often than he is right now.
I think he's going to force their hand. You know what I mean? And that's awesome. We called this. we said he was going to have a much better offensive year this year.
I still think he's going to hit over 250 this season.
Oh, I think he hits better than that. We
I
also
think he'll
talked
end up
about
with like 275.
we had talked about we needed more guys like Nico with contact and that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we said Matt Shaw was a prime candidate for that. He's showing that now. Moises Ballesteros, great candidate for that. He's showing that now. Those are the kind of guys who are going to help elongate the lineup and just make the lineup all that much better. And I think, obviously, the jury's still out. We're only 31 games into this season. But I think that it is going to there's going to be ebbs and flows, and there's going to be down time. I think it's going to minimize how long those downtimes are. We're not going to have quite the drought that we did last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I think
can't guarantee.
Moises Ballesteros had the best 0-5 game I've ever seen in my life yesterday.
Yeah. He's a great young hitter. He's not a good young hitter. He is a great young hitter.
Oh,
and he's fun as hell to watch.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that sweet left, just smooth lefty swing. Pete doesn't have such a smooth swing, but I love Pete's swing. Don't get me wrong, but Ballesteros has got that prototypical sweet lefty swing. In fact, I don't know that I can remember a guy at this age or a young guy since maybe Mark Grace as a lefty with that sweet of a swing.
Maybe Bryce Harper.
I mean, for the Cubs.
He had it. Oh, for who?
The Cubs.
Oh. Yeah.
Tucker had a nice swing, but he wasn't a young guy when he came. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
Daniel Palencia.
Did you see the interesting thing during the game comparing Bregman and Tucker?
No. I'd heard about it, but I had not seen it yet.
Yes. So they're talking about how Bregman is much better for this team because I don't want to call Kyle Tucker selfish, but Bregman's so much more selfless, and he's always there to help the team and stuff. When Kyle Tucker just focused on himself, and when he was having trouble, he didn't go out. He just focused on himself and not do anything about it. When Bregman figures it out with his teammates.
Yes. It was Sutcliffe talking about that, wasn't it? Rick Sutcliffe?
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't Book.
I mean, I think it's a very good point.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I don't think Kyle Tucker's selfish. I think a lot of Cubs fans want to make him out to be this villain. And I don't wish any ill will against the guy. Right. I don't think that he liked being or was comfortable with being the guy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that showed. But if you aren't comfortable with that, why the hell are you demanding $60 million a year? That's insane, in my opinion. Now, more power to him. I'm glad. That's cool. So he found somebody to give it to him. But I think the Cubs are right to have not been the team to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that he's better offensively than Bregman, but I think what Bregman brings in the other ways, like what you just pointed out in Sutcliffe, is 100% right and probably more vital and needed for the team. Especially with guys like Matt Shaw and Pete and there's other Moises and Amaya.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Maybe that's the key to what's been going on. Yeah. Maybe that's what's been helping.
Absolutely.
Like Alex Bregman is a true leader of this team.
He's a leader.
Him and Nico both.
A leader among men.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. And a natural leader, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I will always have a little bit of a clouded view of the guy because of the scandal in Houston with the trash cans and stuff. But I see a whole lot more value than I knew of since he's come and signed with Chicago. Mm-hmm. And again, although I think Kyle Tucker is more talented, ultimately, offensively, I think that Bregman is more valuable to have on the team. For sure. And I think you do too. That's what you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Palencia had a pretty intense workout and time on the mound on Tuesday. Bounced back very well from that on Wednesday. And it seems like it's possible that they're not even going to send him on a rehab assignment, and he could be activated tomorrow for Friday's game in this weekend series. Would you rather him go on a rehab assignment, or do you think all in with this decision?
I think we need help. So
I know we do.
But
it makes me a bit nervous.
I think he's probably fine.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
You're probably right. And
But
I mean,
should we take a chance?
He's only like 2 days behind where he could have been activated right away on a minimal stay. You know what I mean? So I think that's good news. And that it was just a minimal, and if he did like normal bullpen and that kind of stuff in between, then yeah, I think it's worth the chance. But it does
Go Cubs, go!
It does make me a bit nervous, just a tiny bit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I'll tell you what, it comes down to him and Gasolina comes out and it goes on. I'll be ecstatic tomorrow. Like I'll be so, you know what I mean? And so I'm not going to pretend like I want to be, but so all that news was via Bleacher Nation and Jonathan Bastian of MLB.com. So, Arizona Diamondbacks preview. The Diamondbacks come into this series in third in the NL West with a 16-14 record and having lost 2 of 3 of the last 3 against the Brewers. They're also 4-6 in their last 10. And in the two losses against the Brewers, they got shelled. They scored 2 runs to the Brewers 13 on Tuesday, and they lost 13-1 today against Milwaukee. Over the last 10, I just said that, they're 4-6, and they're 7-8 on the road this season. They're also 4-8 against teams who are 500 or better. The Cubs entered this series averaging 5.45 runs per game, which is third overall in baseball. While at home in the friendly confines, they are averaging a little bit under that at 5.31 runs per game, which is fourth best in the majors. The Diamondbacks have a solid offense, averaging 4.83 runs per game, which is ninth overall, while doing a little bit better than that out on the road at 5 runs per game, seventh in the majors. The biggest thing with this Cubs offense is that they are leaving a ton of runners on base at times. They currently lead the most runners in scoring position in the majors this season, averaging 4.29 left on base per game. While the Diamondbacks are the best in this category at 3.24 per game. I don't necessarily think this is a bad stat, though, for the Cubs to be leading in, because that means that you're consistently getting runners on. And they obviously score quite a bit of them because they're third best in the majors. But think of how much better, if they could bring that down one runner per game, think of how much, this would be the best offense in baseball then, bar none. And I think they truly have a good chance at that. But if they can just be top 5, I still think they can challenge for the division.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Hopefully I say this name right. Ildemaro Vargas is currently on a 23-game hit streak this season and 26 counting back to last season. He is currently leading their offense with a 372, 393 on base, 698 slugging, and an OPS of 1,091/line. That's insane. This guy is a utility player. He doesn't even play just one position. Isn't that insane?
He's a Willie Castro on steroids.
Corbin Carroll has been their second best hitter so far this year. He has a 284 average, 389 on base, 558 slug, and a 947/line. This doesn't include Ketel Marte, who is normally a Cub killer, who has started out slow and a bit of a resurgence for Nolan Arenado, who also has some good numbers against the Cubs. He is hitting .284 with an OPS of .787. Neither team is doing as good on the pitching side, with the Cubs at a 4.01 ERA now, 11th in the majors, while the Diamondbacks have a 4.72 ERA, 26th in the majors. Their starting staff specifically has really struggled. Conversely, the Cubs are much better at home with a 2.98 ERA, which is good for 5th, and the Diamondbacks are 18th with a 4.59 ERA on the road. Friday's probable starter, we're just going to name all, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all 120 games. 2:20 our time, Eastern time. Friday is right-handed pitcher Zach Gallen against right-handed pitcher Colin Ray. Gallen is 1-1 with a 3.14 ERA, but his numbers indicate via Baseball Savant that he's had quite a bit of luck with that. He's been hit much harder than that ERA suggests, and hopefully the Cubs can light into him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Colin Ray is 3-1 with a 4.61 ERA. That's ballooned up after this last start for him. On Saturday, we got right-handed pitcher Ryan Nelson, who is 1-2 with a 7.71 ERA and has absolutely been lit up, versus left-hander Shota Imanaga, who is 2-2 with a 3.15 ERA. And on Sunday, probably the best matchup for the Cubs offense, at least, against Merrill Kelly, right-handed pitcher, 1-2 with a 9.2 ERA. His expected ERA via Baseball Savant is 15. Yeah. This dude has been lit up. Almost every start. Absolutely lit up. He's 37.
Merrill
and
Kelly?
He's just getting older, man.
Yeah.
And you saw the signs last year. You know what I mean? Some of them. He bounced back after the first half, but he got shelled in the first half last year. He'll go against Matthew Boyd, who is 1-1 with a 7 ERA. His expected ERA, not as high. I think that we've got good matchups here. Friday is probably the most questionable pitching-wise, just because Gallen does have a solid ERA. So you know that he's probably used some, although his expected ERA is higher, he's used some pitching veteran savvy, you know what I mean, to get out of some spots. And that's what you expect with that guy. He was a guy that I still kind of wish the Cubs had gotten, but probably not for the same amount of money that they gave him. So I think that the offense is in great spots all three games. The weather will play a role. It's going to be colder up in Wrigley, so if the wind is blowing in. But the Cubs, if they can just hit solid line drives, they'll be fine. Like, that wind's not going to matter as much if they're just really good line drives. You know what I mean? And just great contact and not trying to lift the ball all the time. So, and I like our pitching staff against this offense, at least to keep us in games. You agree?
Yeah.
Is there anything you're expecting from this series or hoping for?
Hoping for a clean sweep.
I mean, a sweep would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't be shocked by that, but at the very least, they need to get 2 out of 3. I'm going to predict a sweep, though. I think you're on to something there. Are you predicting a sweep, or are you just hoping for one?
I'm predicting a sweep.
Okay, cool. Awesome. One more quick note before we go. Matthew Boyd. What did I even typed out Michael Boyd. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Matthew Boyd wins first ever MLBPA Most Valuable Philanthropist Award. I thought that was really cool.
What's a philanthropist?
And wanted to give him his flowers. Get like helping people out and stuff.
Oh,
okay. I can't think. Yeah.
So it's like the Walter Payton Award or something?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah,
Gotcha.
but it was the Players Association giving this out. I thought that was really cool.
Gotcha.
And doing stuff for the fans and
So it's like the Roberto Clemente Award.
Kinda, yeah. Yep. 100%.
Okay.
Go Cubs, go!
That's what Paisley thinks. Awesome. For Eli, I'm David, and we thank you very much for watching another episode of Clark and Addison Born into the Ivy. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave us a 5-star review and comments on YouTube and or any of your audio platforms. Have a great day, and let's go Cubs.
Go Cubbies.